Chapter 14, I mean 20, Chapter 24, all 16 achieved. Reset your ignition, break the sound barrier, Turbo, brighter than ever. Turbo, for no longer do I hear your spoken voice, Corliss, I only hear the scream of a phoenix. Thus I do understand and will fulfill my role as a given vessel. Via in this technique's name does my voice roar and thunder pronounce. Reset ignition, break sound barrier. Narrator. Upon bellowing his newfound power technique, did simultaneously all 14 rocket boosters activate, 3 on each calf, 3 on each forearm, and 1 on each palm, did they propel in a most start-off fiery regular ignition. In a matter of 3 seconds' time, did Turbo float and flutter battle dance flight. Step around Velocity's combat range radius, only to taunt Relentless Motion, saying these words as follows. What is wrong, General? Or is it fear that you are exerting? Because I laugh in your face just in order for you to bring out your rank 1 ability. Tag, I'm it. Because I feel like a game of tag myself. Velocity. Very well, the one named Turbo. Activate rank 1 ability. Tag, I'm it. Upon activation, I egotistically reveal its use and functions. By tagging myself on any area of my body, does my velocity speed increase by tenfold of 100%. The only way for you to stop the game of Tag I'm It is for you yourself to physically tag me anywhere on my body. Now show me you are worthy of my speed. Let it begin. Turbo. Challenge accepted. I'll force you to up your game fly to a rank 2. Supersonic. You know what to do. Do not take your left eye off of me. On any given opening, use it. Narrator. So Turbo's doubled figure 6'2" palm thrust was matched equally to Velocity's Tag I'm It. Try as they both might, neither could get a touch hold of one another. On the contrary, Speed Supersonic had already touched both Relentless Motion and Turbo. Being in Velocity's ego had cast her to be the no count, which was his biggest mistake. So Supersonic retracted her physical entirety back into the physical living dimensional plane of the city of 4K Little Dippers. Since glimpses, our own creation of an alternate plane of an eternal void of emptiness, what now ensued inside her right eye was the ability to see inside Psychosis playing Glimpse without her physically being inside Glimpse herself. So on top the highest skyscraper of 4K Little Dippers, she became spectator to Turbo and Velocity's game of Tag I'm It. Upon seeing an opportunity open, Speed Supersonic vortex swirled Turbo's body outside of Psychosis playing Glimpse, only to stand next to her. As she turned and looked to her right, so did Turbo look to his left, both nodding in agreement of what tactic was to be taken next. Supersonic then vortex swirled the ignition back into the eternal void of emptiness. Unaware to Relentless Motion, did Turbo simultaneously disappear right in front of him, then reappear catching his blind spot, only to say, Tag I'm It, General, as Turbo tagged Velocity's shoulder. Velocity. So you and the traitor bitch have outwitted me in round 1. Be no mistake, take me for a fool, you two will not. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Rank 2 technique, listen fast, for here it comes. Catch me if you can. Narrator. Relentless Motion then removed both of his hand gloves, revealing a hole in the center of each of his palms, and a similarity of an area of Turbo's 2 palm thrusts, rocket boosters. By tagging himself once again, did he then use his open palms in a sense like blowing 2 whistles with the surrounding wind coursing through each hole of his open palms in a circular dance rotation. Velocity. Now I won't go as far as to reveal Catch Me If You Can basics and functionality, so prepare yourself with this hint I give now. I move faster than the speed of light. Turbo. That's the cue I've been waiting for. Hear my voice bellow roar. Relentless Motion. All 16 achieved. Reset ignition. Break sound barrier. Narrator. Now a new humanoid psyche summoning took to form alongside Turbo. To a villain competitor's eyes, the change could be noticed in severity. Instead of increasing in outer appearance and size, the Turbo and Corliss miniature in size of 2 miniature magma wings back to back. On his back were Corliss' only visible features, and Turbo, remaining his original size, became the fact of power within himself a non-feature. So a melody started to be played similar to a tuned in and out piano, the source coming out of Velocity's open hands, as he now did a ceremonial tribal cult type of motion dance. Now round 2, Catch Me If You Can began. Turbo. Because it's only just begun. I have news for you, General. I have become faster than the speed of light because nothing defeats the speed of sound. So now I activate Mach 1 ignition set. So easy come, easy go. I don't think you can catch me, for now I know this be no battle via ordinary physical landed blows. Narrator. Turbo's total rocket boosters located on his body now achieved to be in the number of 16. Since both his new boosters required his right and left ear of hearing cordless screech of a hawk of a magma gaseous form boiling temperature heat which cycled through his right and left sides of his brain, entering one ear and exiting out the other ear. Since the speed of sound varies depending on the temperature of the air through which the sound moves, he had an advantageous upper hand, being chosen given vessel to correlate the magma phoenix. So did Turbo activate his newly found goodwill oral intentions, being only his personal 3 rights to battle dance step flight, to protect his next of blood of kin, to fight for democracy, and to go down as the last nigga standing, letting the hierarchy know who it is they are exactly fucking with. Turbo. Activate Mach 1 ignition set. Narrator. So what Mach 1 ignition set did for Turbo was allow him battle dance flight, similar to the way an F-5 military jet maneuvers in the clouds and sky, except his mastery of maneuvers excelled in a display ordinary citizens would pay a fair price to witness, except only to bear witness where his newly found allies turned from foe to friend, Speed Supersonic, and his newly found villain rival to test his vessel, General Velocity, Relentless Motion. So did Turbo succeed in playing the battle of speed, for he caught because he could his rival Velocity. Velocity, being fast as the speed of light, not quite on par to Turbo's usage of the speed of sound, had no chance to even use his technique Catch Me If You Can, for Turbo made him up his gamefly, forcing him to reveal a final leveled ability, rank 3. Test my will, test my will, test my will. Narrator. So what did Test My Will do for Velocity? It allowed him to evolve from the speed of light to the speed of sound via his tribal code type teachings, using his holes in each of his open palms as a meanings to succeed in higher right to rule and command, which come to be named in 3. Wait, hold on this page. No. What was it? It allowed him to evolve from the speed of light to the speed of sound via his tribal code type teachings, using his holes in each of his open palms as a meanings to succeed in higher right to rule and command. Okay, I got it. Which come to be named in 3. Thus came a weary silence, for evil-willed intentions were all in the air as he finally broke the silent momentary of a pin needle you can hear drop, and spoke with Velocity. Velocity. Now I state my personal 3 rights to rule and command. For the lower slaves to show fear for me in their eyes, to fear nobody, only must I fear myself. Now I bellow fear in the whisper of the wind, in the crying trees breeze. Test my will. Narrator. Velocity then began a tribal code type dance, circulating the wind through his 2 palms, for his tribe raised him in their ways of teaching, for thus he only had a biased perception of what he was raised and brought up to be in his belief of what his people call a man. For in his psyche it was absolute to always show his love back to his last of a dying breed, being a man of a last of a dying breed of his tribe named Insomniac, for only his people, and that reason exclusively, did his pride manifest brighter than ever. For he finally found a rival by coincidence, being chosen given vessel to test his usage of speed. For in this battle did not excel as one to the death, except one of fun to test each's speed. So Relentless Motion began his battle dance flight. Test My Will's activation made Velocity seem but only an aired wind blown, circulating 360 degrees around Turbo. Turbo smirked in finesse, for the only woman bear witness of this battle of eons past that could only be told as a fairy tale was his newfound ally, Speed Supersonic, who viewed this speed endurance sparring match via her right eye on top skyscraper on 4K Jack and Rock's physical plane, and being in sparring session Velocity and Turbo via her left eye inside Psychosis plane glimpse, her alternate dimensional plane of her own creation. Now being as a woman, Sonic was feeling a positiveness of self-empowerment without any cockiness, for she now knew without arrogance that with proper training, her own abilities will for fact manifest increase in power with the help of her newfound love, Turbo. For it was the hierarchy's biggest mistake in ignorance to belittle her as a woman. Turbo. Velocity, you dance the air around me like a true master, since the speed of sound varies depending on the temperature of the air through which the sound moves. I have the advantages up to my gamefly, for in fact I can go up to level 2 and 3 of ignition mock set. Velocity, you are correct. Not because of fear do I retract my battle dance flight via sound of speed. Why? Get it correct. You will test my will again. Trust me. Hey, Speed Supersonic, you can let us both out into the physical plane, for two rivals of speed will journey on their individual ways.